Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is John Campea, and this is a companion video. What are companion videos? Well, I'm awfully glad that you asked. You see, every day on the John Campea Show, we take time to answer live questions, but we don't always have time to get around to getting to all those live questions. But I want to make sure those questions get answered, so I gather them up and we address them here on companion videos. Now, today was a big day. Brand new Avengers Endgame trailer dropped. A whole lot of people wanted to talk about it, so we had more super chat questions come in than normal. So I want to start getting to all those right now. So let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right into it. We're going to start off with Koba, who writes, "Did you see the Professor and the Madman trailer?" I did. Never thought I'd be excited for a movie about a dictionary being written. For those of you who've not seen it, you got to check it out. This trailer looks amazing. Mel Gibson, Sean Penn, about the formation of the dictionary. It's crazy. The performances look incredible. I am oddly very, very drawn, and I love the way you put that, Koba. Never thought I'd be excited for a movie about a dictionary being written, and yet here we are. It looks pretty damn good. Check out the trailer, The Professor and the Madman. It looks really good. All right, AG System 120 writes, "Feige's marketing just perfect. Captain Marvel gets a boost now, and you still have the Boom trailer coming up." True. You get a little bit of a boost for Captain Marvel because she pops up in the trailer today. We're now going to have, I believe, again, there's nothing that's confirmed this. This is just me speculating. I believe we are going to get one more trailer. And I believe it's going to come April 2nd. I may or may not be right about that. Who knows? But I think we're going to get one more Boom trailer, so you get this big push right now. It'll help Captain Marvel's second weekend a little bit. Although, it's not like we see Captain Marvel doing a lot in the trailer. She's just basically there. But still, it might create a little bit more awareness, and then we're going to have one more trailer coming, I believe, to get that big boom. And you're right. Kevin Feige knows what he's doing. Newsflash, water wet. Kevin Feige knows what he's doing. Imagine that. All right, thanks a lot, AG. Caledon Sound writes, "Over under 85%, Pepper was dusted then." Well under 85%, because Gwyneth Paltrow is listed on the trailer. Gwyneth Paltrow is credited on the poster. And I don't believe anybody who was dusted is credited on the poster, but Gwyneth Paltrow's name is on the poster. So I'm going to take well under 85% on that. So I'm thinking it's pretty clear that she didn't get dusted. Murray Reich writes, "No thanks in trailer. Makes me really wonder if he's really alive in the film. Also, it looks like Hawkeye lost his family. No thanks." Did you mean to write no Thanos and that did a spell correct? I'm going to guess you meant no Thanos. Look, we've been speculating for a long time that Thanos may not have as big of a role in this movie as we think. Now, the odds are he probably does, but we've been talking for a while that we think there's a possibility that Thanos has a smaller role in this film than one might think. And that's totally a possibility. And the fact that they keep not showing us Thanos, I think there's something significant going on there. What exactly, I'm not sure. And as far as Hawkeye losing his family, I mean, my goodness, that opening picture, that opening salvo of him with his daughter, teaching his daughter how to do archery. You know, she's going to dust in his arms, and it's going to be, I'm calling it cry time. Cry time, everybody. Cry time. Everybody in the theaters, cry, 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 because we're going to watch Hawkeye watch his daughter die. It's going to be, gut-punchingly, painfully upsetting. Anyway, I'm Upset writes, "Thoughts on the Transporter Refueled?" Awful, awful movie. Awful movie with the dude from Deadpool, the dude who Ed Skrein, he was in Game of Thrones. He was the new Transporter. Awful, dreadful, dreadful movie. Roman Bryant writes, "Taking a guess, will we see Daredevil or X-Men in the MCU first?" I'm thinking there's still, I might be wrong. I think there's still a little bit of a clock on Daredevil before the MCU can use him. So I'm going to go out on a limb and guess X-Men. I mean, you never know, but right now, if you're putting me on the spot, Bryant, I'm going to go X-Men will be the first to appear in the MCU. Suthius85 writes, "Hey guys, do you think there is significance of having old Peggy featured in the trailer? That line she says from Civil War when Steve came to visit her, no, I don't think there's any significance to it all, other than it fit the narrative of the story they were telling in the trailer. Just like I don't think there's any real significance of the particular line they picked out from Tony, nor any particular significance of them showing the All-Father Odin in there either. I think it's just something that highlights for each of these particular characters, I mean, really who have been the big three in the MCU, Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor, and telling a little bit of that. Other than that, no, I don't think. And now I know people are going to say, but we also saw Peggy's picture in that one trailer. Yeah, and maybe it means something. My guess at this point, though, Suthius, is no. My guess is no, but we're going to find out pretty soon. We're getting closer, guys. Raymond Verrata writes, Jeremy Renner's new identity. Boom. Mo, not just Hawkeye. Hawkeye. He's got the shave. I wouldn't quite call that a mohawk. I mean, yeah, there are shaved sides, but it seems like the hair's a little wide to be considered a mohawk. But I guess it's mohawk-esque. But yeah, what is with... Somebody else wrote to me today at some point about maybe... what was it? Somebody wrote maybe Hawkeye's barber got dusted halfway through his haircut or something. I'm not sure. Something like that. Suthius85 writes, my mistake, not Civil War. It was Winter Soldier. Oh, are you talking about... Oh, let me go back. Yeah. No, I understood what you meant. No problem, Suthius. I totally got what you meant. Samuel Laskio writes, trailers aren't something one considers when judging the quality of a movie. True. But this... a little bit of Thanosism's in there. But this does put a smile on my face. No, exactly. I mean, we as seasoned movie fans, we know we have seen many horrible trailers to great movies. And we have seen many great trailers to horrible movies. But would you rather see a good trailer or a bad trailer? We would rather the trailers be good. We would rather the trailer make it look good. So absolutely. This trailer looking good and looking sharp in no way guarantees the movie's going to be good. But hey, it's better than it not being a good trailer, right? Abraham Asif writes, April, Avengers, Endgame of... Oh, yeah, the little game with the word game. April, Avengers End Game of Thrones. Yeah, I mean, how stupid is this? We're going to have Avengers Endgame. Captain Marvel's still going to be in theaters. Shazam's opening up. I mean, and we're going to have the final season of Game of Thrones on TV at the same time. Crazy. The opening weekend of Game of Thrones... Sorry, the opening weekend of Avengers Endgame is also going to be that episode of the Battle of Winterfell that everybody's counting down to on Game of Thrones. It's a... like embarrassment, as Robert would say, an embarrassment of riches. Movie Van writes, is Weekly Hero done? Was my favorite show on YouTube? No, it's not done. We were supposed to bring it back at the beginning of March, at the beginning of this month. Straight up, honestly, we've been too busy. It is coming back, hopefully very, very soon. We've literally just been too busy to do it, but it is coming back. I'll be making some announcements about it shortly, but don't worry. The Weekly Hero is still a thing, and it is coming back. It's very, very important to us. Matt Phillips Reviews writes, I think it would be great if the final post-credit scene for Endgame has all the Avengers eating at the same shawarma place from the original. Yep, maybe with it, that would be very poetic, wouldn't it? That would be really poetic and really cool. I mean, probably with a different set of characters, some same, some different. You know, having a couple of new people along for the ride. Or how funny would it be if you had like all 20 of these Avenger characters and the undusted ones and everything all crammed in that little shawarma shop and they're all like chewing. That would be funny. Sign me up for that, Matt. I love the idea. I think that would be a hilarious way to end it. And oddly, I mean, considering that's what Joss Whedon did with the first Avengers movie to end off Infinity War that way or Endgame that way would just be beautiful. I love it. Love it, Matt. Love the idea. Okay. Rufino Salazar Jr. writes, love the trailer, Thor and Marvel hookup? I don't think so. I mean, it's possible, but why waste any screen time of this movie on a frickin' love interest? Like, hey, could they have some playful banter? Sure. Because they are probably finding in each other their only true equals they've ever found. Right? So there might be something to that. Maybe some playful banter, but my God, I really hope they don't waste any precious, precious screen time in Avengers Endgame for some stupid on-screen romance. I really hope they don't. Christopher Benson writes, have either of you seen the picture of Dorian Gray with her at Hatfield and George Sanders from 1945? I absolutely adore that film. You know, I don't think I've watched that one. Straight up. I'll bet you anything Robert has seen that one. And damn, Christopher, I wish he was here to talk about that. But I have not... Oh, wait, did I? Oh, wait, did I? You know what? Let me play it safe right now and say that I didn't, but I'm starting to suspect that I had. So, unfortunately, Robert's not here to comment on that, though. Carlos Herrera writes, The last scene with Thor and Captain Marvel, I thought it was Mjolnir at first. Also love Rocket on War Machine reloading, pure awesomeness. Oh yeah, that shot, I love that shot. That to me was basically a money shot of Rocket on War Machine saying, and yes, that I've had a few people write to me and say, hey, was that Mjolnir? No, you could clearly see it was Groot's arm. That was the handle of it holding the things together. So no, that was Stormbreaker, not Mjolnir. But I could totally see why, because you only see the back of it, and the back is shaped like a hammer. But it looks nothing like Mjolnir, though. Let's see. Akeem writes, pardon me, I love how the trailer still didn't give anything away. Keeps me guessing as to all the possibilities that can happen in the movie. Kudos to Marvel. Yeah, but at some point they're going to give us something. But right now, they seem to be giving this, and this is why I said before, Akeem, that I think if this was a trailer to almost any other movie, we would call it a bad trailer. But this is a trailer that was specifically designed to be a culmination of the MCU up till this point, and in that regards, it works very well. But I still believe that we are getting one more trailer. I believe it will come at the beginning of April. I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong about this. But my guess is, and when we do, we're going to get a little bit more of an idea as to what's happening. It still won't give anything major away. Like the Infinity War trailers never gave anything major away. They just told us, okay, here's what the story's about. This is what's happening. Now, they don't tell us anything that happens inside of it. They just give us a general idea of what the story is. I still think they're going to do that. But they haven't until this point, and it's been really interesting seeing how they've managed that and how they've navigated that. Okay, Murray Reich writes, in the trailer, it looks like Tony is back on Earth with the team. Near the end, they're wearing the white suit. Yep, we got Tony and we've got Nebula. Now, because with Infinity War in particular, Marvel did a little bit of misdirection by CGIing some things. They're showing us a Hulk in Wakanda when Hulk was never in Wakanda. How many Infinity Stones were or weren't in the Infinity Gauntlet by the time he confronted Captain America. Stuff like that. Because they've done that, it's going to make us question everything we see in every trailer. Which is good and bad in some ways, but whatever. So there are already people speculating about whether or not Tony and Nebula actually are there with them, walking along with them. I think they are, because here's the thing. Nobody anywhere on this planet actually thought Tony and Nebula die in space. Nobody on the planet thought that. We all know they're getting found and getting back to Earth one way or another. We all know this. So it's not like by showing us Tony and Nebula walking with them, like it was giving something away. It's only something we all knew. We know they all get back. We just don't know how. We don't know when in the movie that happens. We don't know what the mechanism is that gets it. Do they figure it out? Do they get rescued? I mean, all the main questions are still there. But the answer we all already had was we know they get back somehow, some way. So it's not like they were showing a lot, but who knows? Maybe it is another one of Kevin Feige's misdirects. Murray follows up with, saw Serenity. I'm glad I didn't see it in theaters because it was so bad. Really? The twist is so terrible, it makes me want to throw up worse. Oh, you're talking about the Matthew McConaughey Serenity. I thought for a second you were talking about Firefly Serenity. I'm like, dude, Serenity is like one of the best sci-fi films I've seen in a long time. I love that movie. Okay, yes, the Matthew McConaughey one. Okay, thank you. I was starting to get very confused there, very concerned, Murray, but thank you. Yes, we were talking about the Serenity. Yep. Not a lot of good to be said about that Matthew McConaughey Serenity. And oh, what a stupid twist. What a stupid twist. It's a game. Stupid twist. Anyway, Synced Up writes, the line, whatever it takes is giving me chills. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. I agree. It's powerful. It's strong. It's simple. But sometimes it's just a simple statement. Simple gestures are ones that can have the most profound effect. And as we're sitting there watching this trailer and they're just repeating, whatever it takes. And then you see Cap strap on the shield and look determined as ever. You're right, Synced Up. It creates a really strong impact. Synced follows up with, do you think the black and white with only red filter is going to mean something? Or it's only used for flashbacks, but why only saturate the red colors? I really don't think it means anything else. It might. It might. Let's not sit here and say, oh, it 100% doesn't. It might. I really don't think it does, though. I think it was just an artistic choice. Like, why just make it black and white? Like, obviously, they wanted to do something visual to differentiate what is a flashback compared to what is new in the movie. And they made an artistic choice that instead of just black and white, they highlight the red in the cape, the red in the outfit, you know, that sort of thing. Honestly, I think anything else is just overthinking it. Now, we may watch the movie and it may have some kind of significance, but I'm pretty sure that stuff isn't even going to be in the movie. So I think it was just an artistic choice. I could be wrong about that, but I really don't think it had any more meaning beyond that. Let's see. Patrick Conway writes, the red and black coloring quantum realm suit. Yeah, I mean, that's the theory right now. Like, the first time I saw it, I thought, ooh, there's some kind of astronaut suit. They're going to space. Then it's like, no, wait a minute. That looks like quantum realm suits. Now, the general consensus right now is those suits are quantum realm suits. So whether they absolutely are or not, we don't know, but we'll find out soon enough. Ahmad Ismail writes, those big battle scenes, though, oh man, I can't take not knowing who they're fighting. Who do you guys think they're going against? I think it's Thanos. I don't know. I'm not convinced it's Thanos. Look, I have nothing to base this on other than it feels like they're not just fighting one guy. It feels like they're fighting some kind of soldiers, whether they're human soldiers or alien soldiers or Kree or Skrull or, you know, the Chitauri or whatever. The Borg, who knows? Maybe the Borg come in here. It almost feels to me like they're not just fighting a guy. It feels like maybe there's something bigger going on. So I don't know. You know Robert's theory. Robert thinks Kang the Conqueror is getting in there. So maybe it's Thanos. Maybe it's a new villain. Maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe, you know, Earth wants to undo the snap, and maybe there's another world somewhere that doesn't want the snap undone. So the Avengers got to go against them to try to fix it. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? We'll find out, though, soon enough. Rochelle P. writes, Peggy's voiceover and Cap holding her coffin got me. Yeah, again, just a great way of kind of walking a path that we have walked with these characters, particularly Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man, that have brought us to hear some of the bigger, more important things. Like, I also got really touched with the memory of Thor standing with Odin. Like, that to me, I still wonder if Odin could have taken Thanos. I still bet you Odin could have taken Thanos. I mean, the Russo brothers have explained different things, and I get it, but I can't help to think there's a part of it that Thanos really started his full court press of getting all the stones and getting the gauntlet together, because he's been picking away at it, but I can't help but wonder if the full court press that he put on, it's not coincidence that it happened once Odin was gone. I got nothing to base that on. That's just me and my own little fan theories. Rochelle P. writes, also, Cap tightening his shield strap gets me hyped. No kidding, man. When he puts on that shield and he grits his teeth, it's like, yeah, it's going down. Yeah, very exciting, Rochelle. Very exciting. All right. John Demoto writes, are you surprised they haven't shown much of Thanos in either of the two trailers? He was such a huge part of Infinity War. True. But again, that doesn't mean he's a big part of this movie. It doesn't mean he's a big part of this movie. Even in the poster, when they have Thanos back there, it's like he's not even really there. It's just like the idea of Thanos is there. What Thanos did still shadows over everything that's going on, but not necessarily Thanos himself. Now, again, let me be clear. Don't misquote me. Because I can see people saying, oh, John says Thanos isn't in the movie. I'm not saying that. I think it's likely that he is a major character in the movie. But you guys know, I've said for a while that I think there's a chance he plays a minor role in this film. And the lack of any presence of him in the trailers might suggest that maybe that's the case. Maybe he's not in this movie much at all. Thanos' story may have come to an end in Infinity War. Like, there are still some people out there who say, well, Infinity War isn't a complete movie. Yes, it is. Infinity War is a complete movie. It has a beginning, a middle, and the end. The only thing is, the bad guy won. That's not a cliffhanger. Some people say, oh, Infinity War ended on a cliffhanger. No, it didn't. Infinity War ended with the bad guy winning. Okay, now what happens next? There are more stories to tell, but it's possible that Thanos' story is now done. Thanos did what he set out to do, he accomplished his mission, and he went off and retired to watch the sunset on what he thinks is a grateful universe. That's it. It's a complete movie. And it's possible that his story's now done. Just like Alexander Pierce was a big part of of Captain America Winter Soldier, but then his part in the story was done. Now, of course, he also died, but you know what I'm saying. His part of the story was done. Thanos won Infinity War, and maybe his part in this story is finished now. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Vishal Sethi writes, hashtag whatever it takes, Thanos, you dead, bro. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I get chills when I think about that last shot in the trailer with Thor and Captain Marvel standing face to face. Arguably two of the most powerful characters in the MCU now standing there and thinking, okay, now you add to that Hulk. And you add to that Iron Man and Cap and whatever. And Thanos trying to take them all on. If it's Thanos, yeah, you dead, bro. Rachel P. writes, pure speculation, but maybe Carol and Thor romance again. We've covered this. I don't think they're going to waste any screen time on that. Maybe some playful banter, but that might be it. Wesley Cunningham writes, damn, guess Feige wasn't kidding. Near all footage has looked like it's from the first 20 minutes. Oh, I disagree. Won't lie, that kind of confidence just makes me more hype. I don't think there's any way in the world that all of that footage was from the first 20 minutes. No way. So you're telling me they set up Hawkeye losing his family. They set up the state of the world and the loss that everybody's had and where everything is now post the decimation. We're going to catch up with Captain America and the remaining Avengers there. We're going to have Captain Marvel meet everybody, and we're going to go off into space, and we're going to show that, Tony and Nebula still in space, them struggling to try to survive and get back home, and we're going to get through them finding that resolution and getting rescued, and we're going to get to all that, them coming back, and we're going to have Scott come up with a plan to the point that they put on the quantum realm suits, and now they're ready to go off and try to save the day. In the first 20 minutes, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I know Feige said almost everything we're going to do in the marketing comes from the first part of the movie. I get it, but I do not buy for a second that all of that stuff we saw comes from the first 20 minutes. If it is, it's going to be some pretty bad filmmaking because it's going to be overly rushed. For you to do all that stuff we just talked about in the first 20 minutes, it's going to feel way too rushed. You're going to be challenged to get all that in the first hour, let alone the first 20 minutes. So I don't believe that for a second. Not for a second. All right. Alan Strelinsky writes, the shot of Scott Lang gave me very Back to the Future vibe. I agree. Back to the Future vibe. The look on his face just reminded me of Marty McFly being lost in Hill Valley. That was played great. I love that shot. It was one of my money shots. Remember that I showed on the show this morning. Him looking disoriented, confused, like what has happened to the world? So clearly he just got out of the quantum realm. I'm thinking he was stuck in that quantum realm for almost a year. Speculating, guessing. But you're right, man. When he comes out of that and all that kind of stuff, there is a little bit of Marty McFly feeling. That's a good observation, Aaron. I had the exact same kind of feeling. All right. Wesley Cunningham writes, side note, seen some more Movie Pass stories lately. Yep. Lately. And how do they still exist? Helios and Matheson stock has been floating around a penny for 4 months. Yeah, man, we actually talked about that today. There was another story that we covered today in the movie news feed about how their losses from 2018 were even greater than they reported, that they reported the wrong earnings, and they actually lost millions more than what they reported. And yeah, I mean, every day is just one piece of bad news. I'm shocked that they're still in existence. I did not think they would still be in existence come 2019. I mean, for all intents and purposes, they're pretty much dead, but they're still here. They're still here. And yep, to me, that's pretty surprising. All right. Vince Carter of Mars, one of my favorite usernames. Hated the matching suits when I saw leaked toys, but in the trailer, I admit they look great. Also, Thor is definitely trying to smash Captain Marvel. Well, Thor is a bit of a rogue, that's him. So I wouldn't worry about too much about that. But yeah, man, I got to say, when they're all marching down, it looked pretty cool. Now, if it was just uniforms, I'd be iffy. But if there's specific suits for a purpose, like Quantum Realm and all that kind of stuff, then it makes perfect sense. And yeah, it looked pretty neat, man. It did look pretty neat. Aaron Strelinsky writes, do you think Jumanji 2 should revisit the same characters as the last? Example, Jack Black acting as a 16-year-old girl. Or do you think they should mix it up? I don't know that there is a should here. I think they can do whatever, and there's many different ways to get the win here. And I believe if they remain the same, that's great. If they mix it up, that's great. So I don't think there's any should. I think they will be the same characters. I think they will be the same characters. I don't know that for sure. I'll be honest with you, Aaron, I hadn't even considered that possibility. But now that I consider it, I do think they're going to remain the same characters. Okay. Curtis Lopez writes, got my tickets for an early screening of Shazam on March 23rd. Me too, man. I bought 6. Get them, guys, while they last. Absolutely. We brought this up on the show today. Saturday, March 23rd, for one day, they're doing screenings of Shazam. You can get tickets if they're not sold out. I jumped on immediately. As soon as I got the email from Warner Brothers, I jumped on immediately, bought myself 6. Why 6? I have no idea. I just picked a number and I bought 6 just in case I have some friends who want to go. So I bought my 6 tickets. One of them was free because of my AMC A-list. But yeah, man, I spent a lot of money on getting Shazam tickets for me and my friends. I'm very excited about that movie. Gary from Wakanda writes, Okoye in the poster though. What? Yeah, why not? Remember, she didn't dust. She didn't dust. She is pretty much, with Shuri gone, with T'Challa gone, Okoye, other than M'Baku, which I wonder why not M'Baku, but Okoye has had interactions with these people before. So, yeah, it makes sense. I think she's going to play maybe not a huge role in this movie, but I bet an important one. Let's just wait and see. I like seeing her on there. Denai, what's Denai's last name? The actor. Anyway, love her in that role. Love her in that role. Mad Real Cinema writes, Fandango is showing Shazam 2 weeks early on March 23rd. Bought a ticket, of course. Loving the confidence from DC. I'm also seeing Us, my poor wallet. Yeah, no kidding. But I agree. Look, they did the same sort of thing with Aquaman when they released Aquaman. They did this early fan screening with Aquaman. That went over gangbusters, spread word of mouth, and it had great effect. Again, it is showing incredible confidence. DC has been showing more confidence in this movie than in any movie they've ever put out. By letting the social media review embargo lift a month in advance, now doing this screening 2 weeks early, this means maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong, but they believe, whether they're right or wrong, they believe they've got a movie that audiences are going to love. And you got to love it. Because one of my big criticisms of Warner Brothers over the years has been, dudes, show confidence in your movies. They're showing confidence now, and I cannot wait to see this Shazam film. Hector Jeter writes, my sister blew up my phone this morning after I got an hour's sleep. Perfect trailer for this movie. No need to see any more. The anticipation is real. I still disagree, Hector. I think it's no need for people like us who are already hardcore Marvel fans, but I believe there's still a little selling to do. If they dream of breaking new box office records, they can't just get us. They've got to get the people who have still not jumped on board with the Marvel films. And there's still a lot of people who aren't on board with the Marvel films. And if they want to break records, they don't just want this movie to be a hit. They want to break records. And if they want to break records, they got to cast their net a little bit wider than what they've been doing right now. I love the trailer. But I'm the type of person they were targeting that trailer at. Who this trailer will not work for as much as it did for me is my cousin, who's not like totally into comic book movies, not into the MCU. If they want to break these records, they got to bring more people in, and I believe that's what another trailer will do. And I believe that'll be the Boom trailer. I might be right, might be wrong, but we'll see. Ben Hayusa writes, saw Captain Marvel last night. Nice. While I enjoyed it, I did understand at some parts why people didn't like the movie. First half was slow, but made me more hyped for Endgame and see more of her. Yeah, I like to do, but I agree. I believe not the first half, but the first act. I've said this from the beginning. I think the first act has pacing problems. I really do. It's a little all over the place. It feels a little dragged. I just think they could have tightened up that first act a lot better. I really do. I think they should have tightened up that first act a lot better. I have a few other criticisms of Captain Marvel as well, but overall I quite enjoyed it. I'm glad you did too. And yes, it does make you more hype to see Endgame. Ben follows up with, getting a second Endgame trailer day after seeing Captain Marvel was so unexpected. Gonna watch it over and over, whatever it takes. That must be great, though, because I've seen Captain Marvel a while ago. But to watch Captain Marvel one night, go to bed, and wake up to an Endgame trailer with Captain Marvel in it, that's pretty good timing, Ben. I know you didn't plan it that way, but still, pretty good timing. All right, Gabriel Reed writes, they're hiding Hulk for the movie experience. I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. But really, when you think about this sort of stuff, understanding that they weren't going for big action feels in any of the stuff, other than the one Ant-Man shot. Otherwise, they've been going for the drama. These trailers have been going for the drama, not for the action yet. And if what you're going for is the drama, what are you going to do with Hulk? Are you going to have Hulk sitting down reading a book? Hulk think, therefore Hulk am. I mean, you know what I mean? I was like, what's the drama for Hulk? So you show Bruce instead. When they give us a trailer, and I still believe there's one more coming, that goes more into the action, then I think we'll see Hulk. Don't know for sure. I'm just guessing like everybody else. That's my guess. Gabriel Reed writes, yesterday I meant that I believe Frodo doesn't the end of Return of the King, and I'm sticking to that theory. I remember you wrote in something yesterday, Gabriel, and I didn't understand what you're running. I got to admit, I don't know that I understand this much better. Yesterday, I meant that I believe Frodo doesn't the end. Frodo doesn't what the end? Frodo doesn't the end of Return of the King, and I'm sticking to that theory. Again, Gabriel, I don't know what it is you're saying. That's 2 days in a row, man. I apologize, but I don't know what it is you're saying. Gabriel follows up, haha, Thanos, you're going down, son. Yeah, but I'm telling you, he might not. Because he might not even play that big of a role in this movie. Just thinking. The TT Gibson writes, what do you think of the Alien short films coming? Yeah, so they made an announcement they're doing 4 or 6 Alien short films. I'll be honest with you, no interest. They look like low-budget film school projects, to be frank with you. Now, maybe they'll be awesome. Maybe they'll be awesome. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying I watched the preview stuff for it. And honestly, I forgot about it 5 seconds after I watched it, to be honest with you. Graham McIntyre writes, I just did a speech for my public speaking class about the Battle of Endor. Nice. I used your old video, Screw You, I Love the Ewoks, as a source. Thanks for help. And indeed, to the world I say, screw you, I love the Ewoks. The Ewoks are awesome. Thank you, Ganem, for bringing that. I think I said Graham, but Ganem, thank you for bringing that up. If you guys want to know why the Ewoks deserve more credit, go on YouTube and search for John Campea, Screw You, I Love the Ewoks, and see the case I make for the Ewoks there, because I love the Ewoks, and I think you should too. So, hey, man, I hope you did well with your public speaking course, man. That's great. Thank you for using my stuff. All right, Daniel Joseph writes, in response to your OBJ comment yesterday, oh, then you write up, but Chad Johnson joined the Pats, and they only lost 1 game that season. Mind you, it was Super Bowl, but still, go Broncos. Yeah, but if you think Chad Johnson had anything to do with that, really, I mean, he didn't have a bad little year playing, but it's not like that was the game breaker. And I don't think OBJ is going to be the game breaker either. And look, and besides, it's not like the Patriots were a terrible team one year, and then they got Chad Johnson, and suddenly they were a championship team. No, they were always championship teams. They're always championship teams. They're the best. And yeah, so nah. Now, OBJ will make an impact, but it doesn't turn the Browns into a Super Bowl contender. Not my opinion at any rate. Lee Mallinson writes, was Hawkeye's hairdresser... I heard somebody else said that to me too. Was Hawkeye's hairdresser snapped mid-trim? Somebody with a lot of social media followers must have said that, because I've heard a couple people say it too. That is a funny thought though, Lee. It's a pretty funny thought. Curtis Lopez writes, you can use A-list for Shazam screening, but you have to go through Fandango and put in your Stubbs account number. Yes, that's exactly what I did, because the Shazam screening is being done in partnership with Fandango. So if you're going to get tickets for it, you have to get your tickets through Fandango. I couldn't even buy tickets on the AMC site, even though the screening that I'm going to go to is at an AMC. But thankfully, with Fandango, you can input your Stubbs number or your AMC A-list number, and you still get your AMC A-list credits. So even though I bought 6 tickets, one of them was free because of my A-list. So there you go. Thanks for pointing that out, Curtis. All right, Damned Opinions writes, It looks like the review embargo hasn't lifted for Captive State, and it opens tomorrow. Do you think they are hiding reviews? I had hope for this one. I think it. Look, when you've got a movie opening up, hold on a second. When you've got a movie opening up, and it's the day before it opens, and nobody, and I understand. Look, it's got a good. John Goodman is in this. Jonathan Major, Vera Farmiga, Kevin Dunn. Look. The fact of the matter is, when you're the day before the movie comes out and they still haven't allowed any reviews to come out, it's never a good sign, my man. It's never a good sign. Aaron H. writes, well, it's official. I'm wearing 2 pairs of pants to Endgame because all liquids would be evacuated. The Russos have me in the palm of their hands, and there's no place I'd rather be. I'm telling you what, man, there's just so much. You see, and this is part of the reason why, Aaron, why I'm trying not to develop too many theories. I just want to go in and let the movie wow me. You know what I'm saying? I just want to go in there and let this movie take over and completely wow me, and not on my own predetermined checkboxes, but just let whatever's going to happen in the movie happen in the movie. Whether or not Thanos is a big role or a small role, whether or not Kang the Conqueror shows up or not, whether or not even if Captain America says Avengers Assemble, I'm trying to go in with as little expectations as possible just to let the greatness of whatever they're going to give us just hit us on its own terms. And I'm psyched, and I know you are, Aaron, and we're getting closer. All right, Cam Wood writes, you see Nebula walking twice. Who are they hiding? But it was just because of the camera angle. There was nothing fishy about that. When you look at it, it was looking at it from different angles. And so both times she was in the shot. It was nothing special on top of that. Honestly, go back and watch it again. You'll see what I mean. Damien writes, if this is from the first 20 minutes, my God, again, as I established, I have no belief at all that this is all from the first 20 minutes. Not a chance. If it is, it'll be some terrible filmmaking because they're going to rush through everything way too much. It's not all from the first 20 minutes. No way. I'm going to be shocked if it is, but I feel very confident saying what we saw in that trailer is not all from the first 20 minutes. Damned Opinions writes, I have loved the marketing for Endgame so far. It gives us nothing, but the stakes are so palpable that for each character, I'm over the moon excited. Yeah, and I do believe they're going to show us a little bit more in another trailer. But because of what happened in Infinity War, the stakes are well established. We know what the stakes are. They're not trying to save the world. They're trying to undo something that happened. Thanos won. He did what he set out to do. There's no, coming back and winning. It's done. Can they come up with something that subverts time and space to regain what it is they lost? Maybe. I mean, there's so many possibilities. That's the thing, Damned Opinions, is that there's so many possibilities here to making us unto joy. I just made that phrase up. That it's kind of hard to wrap our heads around at this point. All right, Dan M writes, Endgame trailer doesn't show the villain. Do you guys think it could be something other than Thanos, or we could be in for Thanos heavy trailer number 3? Yeah, like we've been saying, Dan, I firmly believe there's a definite chance here it's not Thanos. I really believe there's a legitimate chance it is not Thanos. Now, how true or false that ends up being, we'll find out soon enough. I believe Thanos will play a role in the film. I think if I had to put $100 on it, I would say Thanos is the villain. But I really believe there's like a 40% chance that it's something else or somebody else. Who or what that could be, don't know. But I do believe, Dan, there's a chance it's somebody else. It is likely Thanos, but I think there's a legitimate chance that it's somebody else. Boy Chow Sang writes, disappointed Thanos not in the new trailer. Again, Boy Chow, I mean, why would he be if he's not that big part of a movie? Again, there is an argument to be made that Thanos' part of the story is now done. He won. End of the story. Now he's out. Now the Avengers try to recoup or something after that, but Thanos' part of the story could be over. Probably not, but if he is very limited in this movie and his part of the story is over, then why would he be in the trailers? Why would he be, right? So let's not invest too much in that. Dirk Diggler writes, watch this Sunday's episode of Supergirl because Superman will be jobbering again. Lex Luthor unleashes Red Sun. I have no desire, Dirk. I have abandoned that stupid show. I am not watching another freaking episode of that, despite the fact that Sam Witwer is in it. And I tried watching just for Sam Witwer because Sam Witwer is great. And I tried watching the show just for Sam Witwer, but I cannot stomach it anymore. And I will not be watching any more Supergirl. It just makes me mad. Spencer Main writes, we're in the Endgame now. Truly, Spencer, more than ever before, we are in the Endgame now. The Delusionator writes, seeing Mjolnir at the end of that trailer was cool. Again, that was not Mjolnir. That was Stormbreaker. Go back, watch it again. You'll see it's clearly him. You see Groot's arm as the handle. It's Stormbreaker. Julian Crawford writes, mutants' powers to be introduced through the effects of the Infinity Stones or as a result of returning from the snap. Old mutants may exist through past interactions with the Infinity Stones. A lot of people keep trying to try to draw a connection between Endgame and the coming of the mutants. The reality is, when they were writing this movie, there was no Fox Disney deal in the works. When they were writing this film and planning this film out, such a deal did not exist. And until this deal closes, which is soon, but it's not closed yet, until this deal closes, Kevin Feige will do nothing. And Kevin Feige's already gone on public record that he didn't even know such a deal was in the works until the news broke. And that is actually, as somebody who's worked in big corporate entertainment companies before, I can guarantee you that's exactly how it works. The people that you might think are really big and important, they actually are too low on the totem pole to actually know what's going on. The people who know what was going on, the Disney Board of Governors knew, the CEO knew, all the members of Disney's leadership with the letter C in front of their title, CMO, CFO, CCO. I'll bet you Alan Horn knew, but I think that's as far as it went. And so I look, everything is possible, Julian. It's what you're proposing. Other people have proposed. You're not alone in this belief. There are others who believe that as well. A lot of others. I still don't think, though. I think that's just us as fans desperately trying to draw connections between things that don't exist. I think this movie is going to be completely independent of anything mutant oriented or anything like that. I just don't think they would have built that in the movie. They couldn't build it into the movie because the deal wasn't closed, so they didn't have the right to do that. It's just a lot of stuff. So I still think no. I think they're going to come up with something else. But again, a lot of people believe that, so it's certainly a possibility. Apex Caliber writes, if the time skip in Endgame was 5 to 10 years, would we have an answer on if Thanos was right? Also, why bother fighting Thanos if the gauntlet is wrecked? Well, I mean, we don't know. I mean, there's 1,000 different possibilities there. First of all, I think just seeing the state the world is in, even after 1 year, is enough to say that, hey, maybe it works on other worlds, but it did not work on Earth. On Earth, it would just cause chaos and calamity and everything to degrade into pure anarchy, and it just ruined the world. And that's kind of the message that I think I'm getting from the trailer. And I don't think 5 to 10 years later would have been any different. As far as, you know, if the gauntlet is wrecked, why bother fighting Thanos? Well, who knows? They don't know if the gauntlet is wrecked. The Avengers don't know if the gauntlet's wrecked. I mean, Thor looked at it and it looked all kind of mangled a bit. But remember, the last thing that Thor saw was Thanos still using the gauntlet to open up a portal to get out of there. Remember? So, yeah, I mean, look, and there's just 5,000 possibilities as to why this, that we simply have no idea about until we watch the movie and see what the context is that we're in. All right. Ital Hook writes, still no Hulk, maybe saving him for an epic reveal. Again, since they've been going for the drama in these trailers, don't really see how you would fit a Hulk in there right now. They might just be saving that for an action bit. Or maybe they're just trying to keep him hidden back for some huge, massive Hulk smash, Hulk really going crazy kind of moment. That, quite frankly, we haven't seen since the first Avengers movie. I think Hulk's been really underutilized since the first Avengers movie. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Assorted Musings writes, I don't think Avengers score gets enough credit. I'll be honest with you. I was never big on the Avengers score. Ba, 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 ba. But the thing is, as the MCU has progressed, the meaning of that score has become more profound. See, when I first saw Avengers, I thought the theme was okay. And then they played it a couple more times in other movies. Yeah, it's okay. But we're at the point now that when you hear that Avengers theme, it means a lot more now because we've been with this universe for 10 years. And now when you hear ba ba ba, like it immediately elicits all the memories of all the things that have happened in the Avengers before. And it's taken on a greater meaning. But I'll be frank with you, I never thought it was all that great. I never think it was bad, but I honestly didn't think it was all that great from the beginning. Sean Hartman writes, Campea, in Avengers trailer, all the black and white flashbacks had the color red highlighted. Then at the end, the new uniforms only have one color, red. Well, they were also predominantly white. White is a color, sort of. Could this hit at the Reality Stone? No, I think that's reading way too much into it. Honestly, I think it was just an artistic choice. You're thinking outside of the box, Sean, and that's cool. But honestly, I think we are reading way too much into that. I don't think it has anything to do with the Reality Stone. The Reality Stone will be in the movie, but so are all the other stones. But yeah, I just think it was an artistic choice and a really pretty one. I thought it was a real, like, it showed the past, but a connecting thread between all the characters by having one color stand out. And again, I just think, and again, I don't even think that's going to be in the movie. I don't think those flashbacks are in the movie. I think that was just for the trailer. And I thought it was just a good artistic choice because it looked really pretty. Rodrigo Ramirez, I'm currently organizing to plan to see Endgame on opening weekend with 20 plus friends in a Dolby theater, waiting for the ticket sale. Wish me luck. Good luck. Because getting 20 tickets is going to be hard. Getting 20 tickets together will be particularly challenging, especially if you're in a prearranged seating theater. Although maybe that might make life easier. I mean, if you can get in there early enough and just click the 20 seats you want, it actually may not go that bad. Just my advice, Rodrigo, trying to get that many people, have a lot of money in your bank account to pay for the tickets off the bat, but get in there as soon as the tickets go on sale. As soon as the tickets go on sale, get in there, because if you're not, it's going to be challenging getting 20 seats together. Not that you have to get all your seats together, but obviously if you want to go with a big group, you're kind of trying to do that. So get in there early, my friend. Get in there early. Okay, where are we at here? Tyler Yeats writes, hashtag whatever it takes. Love the trailer and how they give almost nothing away. So yeah, a lot of people, Tyler, have been kind of mentioning that same idea that they love what they've been getting. And in particular, I should say, what they've not been getting has been exciting people as well. And so that's just one of the great things about the trailer. Johnny Granada writes, Avengers Assemble is what the first Avengers film is called here in the UK. You suggested it's a good idea to call Avengers 5 that. Please no. Well, I mean, yeah, it's not completely uncommon for almost any movie to have one. I mean, it's not normal, but it's also not tremendously uncommon that in one country or in most of the countries, a movie will have one title. And then in a couple of countries, it'll have a different title. That's not unheard of. It's not common, but it's not unheard of either. So yeah, in here, it was just Marvel's The Avengers. In the UK, the first one is called Avengers Assemble. I don't think that precludes you from calling a new one here Avengers Assemble. It's a great title. Then you just have to call it something different in the UK because one was already called that. But if you already did it once, I think you can do it again. I like the title Avengers Assemble. I'd like to have that. No reason only people in the UK should have a movie called Avengers Assemble. Come on, man. Share the goodness around. Johnny Granada writes, my ideal casting for Aladdin would have been Craig Robinson as Genie? Really? I love Craig Robinson, but as Genie? And either Benedict Cumberbatch or Ben Kingsley as Jafar. Yeah, both of them could have worked. That's great. But I mean, who knows? We haven't seen this new guy. Maybe this new guy is a fabulous Jafar. I mean, we don't know. Let's kind of wait and see the movie. Like, you know me. My thing is, I don't care who you put in a role. As long as it's a really good actor. As long as you put in a good actor, we're good. Craig Robinson is a great comedic talent. Is he a great actor? I don't know if he's a great actor. I know he's a great comedic talent, and I'm a big fan of Craig Robinson, but could he play Genie? I don't know. Personally, I don't see it, but maybe you're seeing it from an angle that I'm not. All right, Michael Jones writes, hey, John, tracking came out for Shazam today. Yeah, we talked about that on the show earlier. They only have it opening weekend about 45 million. Don't you think that's way low? I believe it's low. I don't know that it's way low, but I believe it could get up to about 70. I believe the early tracking is low. Now, granted, a lot of people, we got to keep in mind, this isn't a Marvel film. It's a character nobody's familiar with. He wasn't introduced in a previous film like Aquaman was. Aquaman got introduced in Justice League before he had his own standalone film. Shazam doesn't have that benefit. So I've never thought this was a movie that was going to open to $150 million or anything, but I do believe 45 is a little bit low. I think it's going to do better than that. I really do. Rufino Salazar Jr. writes, excited to see Cap in action in fish scale suit. Oh, I hope not. That I hate. Look, the fish scale suit is a great example to me. I'm not trying to rain on your parade, Rufino, but the fish scale Captain America suit to me is a great example of something that looks great on a comic book page, but would look ridiculous in live action. Kind of like the Wolverine yellow spandex suit. Looks great on the printed page, would look ridiculous if you try to do it live action. And I think the fish scale suit would look dumb, but who knows? Maybe they'll give it to us and maybe it'll look great. I don't know. Let's go in with an open mind. Trojan of Narnia writes, over under 20%. Goose will be an Endgame. Ooh. 20 is a low number, so I'll take the over. I'm going to take the over 20%. I still don't think I don't know that it's likely, but if you're going to set the number that low, I'll take the over on that. Okay. Helsing 7747 writes, John, Maria is Carol Danvers' best friend and Monica is Maria's daughter, not the other way. Yeah, I know that. I mean, here's the thing. I do these videos live and I have no one else with me. And every once in a while, I'll get like one thing, like I'll say one thing instead of the other, and I'll get one little thing crossed up. And everybody then feels the need to write me 500 emails about it to correct me. But that's what happens when you do these things for hours every single day, live and whatever. Sometimes those mistakes out. Yes, I do understand that Maria and Monica are mother and daughter, not daughter and mother. I do understand that. I think that one answer I was given, I just got crossed on that one for a second. But yes, no, I completely knew what we were talking about, Helsing. Don't worry about it. But thank you for pointing it out just in case I didn't. All right, Scott D writes, Legendary is making a Quatermass movie. Excited? I'll be straight up with you, Scott. I have no idea what that is. So I can't answer that because I have no idea what Quatermass is. Santez Henderson, looks like the Avengers were assembled. Yeah, sort of, except they weren't all there. Notice in that little marching along, there was no Captain Marvel, there was no Rocket, there was no Thor. So maybe Rabbit and went along with Thor, and so did Captain Marvel to go try to find Thanos. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. Finn Barrett writes, IMDb user reviews are totally toxic. 1 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, no logic. Dude, that's one of the reasons why I've been saying forever. I've been saying for almost 10 years that IMDb user reviews are useless. They're useless. I've been saying it for 10 years. No, because everything's 10, 10, 10 or 1 out of 10, 1 out of 10. And people organized, I remember The Dark Knight came out, right? And The Godfather, I believe it was The Godfather, was the #1 user-rated movie on IMDb. And what Dark Knight fans did was they organized, and this is going back years, but they organized to get people to go onto IMDb and downvote Godfather so that Dark Knight could be #1. That's so idiotic, and it's gaming the system, and it's not real. And it's just, once I saw that like almost a decade ago, it's like, okay, so user ratings on the internet are completely fabricated and completely useless. They mean nothing. So that's why I keep telling people IMDb user scores, Rotten Tomatoes user scores, they're pretty numbers to look at, but they ultimately don't mean anything because anybody can game the system. People never even saw the movie and they can go and register a vote. It's pointless. Santez Henderson writes, seriously, I love that this movie tells us nothing. No other movie campaign would pull this off. Blade Runner 2049 tried and it failed at it. Yeah, but the difference is Blade Runner 2049 was the first movie to come in like 30 years of its franchise. This is a franchise that has 3 new movies every year lately, right? So you could say that no other movie could pull this off, but no other movie is in this particular set of circumstances that you could, right? Because in many ways, the MCU is kind of handled like a television show. So you got like 6 hours every year, 6 hours of programming every year. So yeah, and I do believe they're going to give us a little bit more. And believe me, we already know. The thing is, we can say that they're not telling us anything. But the reality is, going into this movie, we already know so much. We know all the characters. We don't have to be introduced to them. We know the world that they're living in. We just went through it with Infinity War. We know what the state everything is in. We just watched it in a movie, right? So we can say, oh, wow, they're not telling us anything. But the reality is we already know everything other than what specific things are going to happen in this chapter. But there's a lot of things they don't have to reveal that many other movies need to reveal in their trailers. A lot of that ground's already covered. So that's one advantage that they have. Jure Manian writes, recently, both Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth have expressed interest in returning for more Marvel stuff. Evans or doing Thor 4. Any thoughts on this? Dude, Chris Evans has been saying for years, I'll keep playing Captain America as long as they want me to play Captain America. That's nothing new. And Chris Hemsworth has basically said the same thing. They've always said that they both love it. They both love the roles. Chris Evans has said forever, I'll play Captain America as long as they want me to. I'll play it as long as they want me to. And I still don't think either of them are going to die in this movie. Or if they do, that they'll be the traditional Marvel fake deaths. So I don't believe this movie is going to be the last that we see of Chris Evans in it or Chris Hemsworth, one way or the other. I really don't. Thanks for that, Jure. Let's see. Dwayne Edwards writes, Avengers somehow have to fight past enemies, maybe? Oh, like past enemies. Possibly. But then again, that's built on a number of assumptions. Like that assumes that there's going to be time travel and it assumes that there's going to be this and assumes it's possible that they got to fight Red Skull and Ultron and Malekith and Warmonger and whatever, like every other, Dormammu is going to come back and Mordo and, I mean, it's possible. And it's possible that they have to fight this. It's Avengers versus the basic Marvel version of Legion of Doom. Maybe. That would be something. And if that's true and they've kept it all under wraps, that'd be pretty impressive. I don't think that's the case, but it's an interesting theory, Dwayne. All right. James O'Rourke writes, so the name is pronounced O'Rourke instead of O'Rourke. Anyway, no big deal, LOL. But that Avengers Endgame trailer, John and Rob, oh my God, that trailer. I'm telling you guys, cry time. Cry time. Everybody gonna be crying. Everybody in America gonna be crying. Oh, look at Hawkeye with his little girl, his baby girl that he's watched growing up at home. They're going to memories flash of him the day she was born and him cherishing to always honor her and protect her and be there for her, teaching her how to shoot bow and arrow, thinking ahead to the days that he drives her to her prom with some boy taking her on her date and some day that he's going to walk her down the aisle at her wedding and then she dies in his arms and all of America, cry time. Cry time, everybody. Oh my God. The entire first 20 minutes of this movie is going to be cry time. Everybody's going to be crying and weeping, being a oblivion mess. I'm telling you what, James, it was something else. See, that shot was awesome. Showing him smiling and happy with his daughter, knowing that probably at the end of that scene, she turns to dust. Woo, cry time. Cry time, everybody. Dan Cortez writes, at first I was like, okay, just don't show us flashbacks. Then boom, masterpiece trailer, in my opinion. Thor's interaction with Carol, just awesome. I do love that ending, man. I do like that ending. Just, you got two of the most powerful beings in the MCU. Thor walks up to her, summons Stormbreaker, the little whiff of her hair as it goes by. She doesn't even flinch. I like this one. That was a good scene, man. That was good. I can't wait to see that, Danny, actually play out on screen because that was something pretty special. And you're right. You don't want to see, especially with a third piece of marketing that comes out, like really, you're taking up screen time of this marketing by showing us more flashbacks, but they were used to tell the story. This trailer was telling a story. And they were used to tell a story, and they used it in a really, really good way. Luke Blackwell writes, why no Thanos in Endgame trailer? Just why? Because maybe he's not that big a part of the movie. And the drama and the story they're focusing on with these trailers doesn't require the villain to be shown yet. I think we'll get some of the villain. But then again, I just keep telling people, prepare for the fact that Thanos may not be the big baddie of this movie. And if he's not and doesn't play that big of a role, then why would he be in more of the trailer? Something to keep in mind. Daniel Castro writes, I don't think Cap or Tony will die. There are potential storylines that they can explore. Plus, they are major money makers for Disney. I think it is completely possible that Cap and or Tony die. But I don't think they will. And again, it just goes back. Everybody screamed that Captain America was going to die in Winter Soldier. I said, no, he's not, and he didn't. Then everybody insisted he was going to die in Civil War, because that's what happens in the comic book, shot to death on the steps of the courthouse and all that kind of stuff. So he ain't going to die in Civil War. And then everybody insisted he's going to die in Infinity War. Cap's going to die in Infinity War. I said, no, he's not. And he didn't. Now everybody's saying Cap's going to die in Endgame. It's possible. Yeah, it's possible. I still don't think he will, though. I'm with you on this, Daniel. I still don't think he will. Now, they may go away. They may do whatever. And they may actually die. But even if they die, I don't think that's the last time we're going to see them. Because Marvel is also known as the MC Fake Death U. Right? It's the MC Fake Death U. That's what the MCU is. The MC Fake Death U. So even if they die, there's no way I'm going to believe this is going to be the last time we see them. But I honestly don't think they will. But again, maybe they will. All right. Ryan Hawking. Where are we at here? Ryan Hawking writes, great trailer. Didn't need an action trailer, in my opinion. Yeah, for you. That's what a lot of people get. Like hardcore film fans, we forget we don't live in a bubble like we think we do. Right? It worked for me. It worked for you. But just because it worked for me and for you, that doesn't mean we should just proclaim they didn't need an action trailer. There's a lot of people that live outside that bubble that we're in. And I think they do need an action trailer for those people. If they want to break records, they got to bring in people who haven't come yet before. And there's still a lot of people who haven't checked out or haven't really bought into MCU movies. They need something that's going to bring them in. And maybe that next Boom trailer will be the thing that does it. Beefy Seahorse, I love that username. Better way to watch Endgame, AMC, IMAX, or Dolby? Well, I've said all along, the AMC version of IMAX. By the way, AMC also has true, legit, full-size IMAX theaters. But I've been saying for a couple of years now, Dolby, the AMC Primes with Dolby, are the better viewing experience in IMAX. Now, not everybody will agree with that, and that's fine. But I've gone to a lot of movies in the real IMAX theater at AMC at Universal Studios because they have the full IMAX theater there. And I've gone to a lot of movies at the AMC Prime Dolby Theater. The AMC Prime Dolby Theater is the better viewing experience in my opinion, so that's the way I'm watching Endgame. Look, but let's face it. Any way to watch Endgame is a good way to watch Endgame. Cakes Mitchell writes, if Tony and or Cap dies in Endgame, who will then carry the torch as the face of the MCU? It's a good question. It could be Thor. I mean, Thor would work. Scott's not a leader, so I can't see Ant-Man there. Doctor Strange a possibility. Captain Marvel's is a possibility. I mean, I almost said something that was going to give away a spoiler for Captain Marvel. I got to be careful. But Black Panther. I mean, the dude's a king. I don't think you could be a king and run the Avengers, though, at the same time. But I think there's a lot of possibilities. I'm going to lean towards Thor. Maybe Thor and Captain Marvel, but I'm going to lean towards Thor for now. Force user-ish. I like that. Do you anticipate and nods? You probably mean any nods to Chuck and Shazam. I don't know. Maybe, a buddy of mine, I think it was my buddy Rodney, up in Canada, you guys remember Rodney? He did some Star Wars Talk Tuesday with me. He used to do my movie blog with me. So, a buddy of mine, Rodney, up in Canada, I think he put up on his Facebook account this picture of a scene, I think it was from Shazam. And remember in Chuck, the store he worked in was Buy More? And he pointed out in the background, this sticker on the wall, there was a Buy More sticker. And I might not be remembering this correctly. But if that's the case, yeah, a little Chuck reference probably wouldn't hurt. I think there's a good chance we could see that. Mixed Bag Chips writes, where did I go here? Mixed Bag Chips writes, you can bring only one Avenger back. Who do you choose? Like out of all the people who are going to be, Captain America. Like Captain America is nowhere near my favorite comic book character. Not at all. But he has been my absolute favorite character in the MCU. I'd follow that guy anywhere. I'd follow him into the jaws of hell if Captain America led there. Yeah, man. This incarnation of Captain America that Chris Evans has given us is my absolute favorite MCU character. Nowhere near my favorite character in the comic books, but in the MCU, love him. So that's the one I would bring back. Alan Gonzalez writes, Shazam will make 130 million opening weekend. No, it won't. No. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. But no, I think it'll make more than what they're tracking right now. This 45 million number, I think it'll exceed that. 130, though, I think is a bit of a stretch. I think that's a little bit of a stretch, Alan. Kadir Hicks writes, Christmas Chronicles was a hit for Netflix. I don't know if it was or not. How commercial do you think Christmas fantasy movies are? Concept time, Gaiman Sandman, but for X lore. Concept time, Gaiman Sandman, but for Xmas lore. I'm not quite sure what you're getting at, Kadir. As far as how commercial are Christmas movies, well, Christmas, I mean, one of the common themes, what's become cliche is for Christmas movies to talk about how too commercial Christmas is. So, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of it's become a cliche in and of itself. It's a cliche layered on top of another cliche. So it's kind of a weird thing there. So, but yeah, generally, look, in every way, shape, and form, Christmas is treated very commercially, and that is not excluded from our movies. Stephen Mattern writes, started A-List, $22 a month for all that. What a steal. I'm telling you, A-List is the greatest thing to ever happen to movie fandom. A-List is the greatest thing to ever happen to movie fandom. Are you kidding me? I pay $22 a month. One movie on a Friday night at AMC Prime is like a $23 ticket. Like that. One movie a month, and I'm already saving money. It's crazy good. And I cannot wait to see what Regal does. Because you know Regal, I believe, this year will come out with their movie membership club, their movie club, whatever they're going to call it, because they're owned by Cineworld now. And Cineworld's had one for like 10 years. So I'm very curious to see what Regal comes out with, and I think it's just going to be a great time to be a film fan now, that we can see all the movies we want, not have to bankrupt ourselves to see movies. It's such a great era, and that A-List thing, man, best thing to ever happen to film fans. Javier Belmer writes, when I heard Peggy Carter saying those lines while showing those flashbacks, my eyes watered. Beautiful homage to the entire MCU. What a decade. And you're right, it wasn't just the Peggy stuff. It was the flashbacks with Thor, with his father, the All-Father Odin, of Tony flashing back as well. I mean, it was a really well-constructed story. They were telling a story with the trailer. A lot of times trailers just show some flash and explosions, and those are good, and they have a place. You could tell that their intent with this trailer, though, was to tell a story. You know, remind us of the specialness of the narrative that we've had up to this point. And I thought it was beautifully done, very well executed. And you're right, everything from the imagery that they used, the black and white with the red, the narration, and the Peggy Carter line in it too, was beautifully. And they picked the right line too. They really did pick the right line, Javier. I just loved what they did with it. Romance Nyongu writes, do you think Captain Marvel is stronger than Hulk? Like pure physical strength? No, I don't think so. She's got a lot of power. But power is different from physical strength. So, no. And considering that Hulk, theoretically, there is no limit to Hulk's strength. Now, discard the comic books. Because this isn't the comic books. This is the movie universe. I don't think Captain Marvel is physically as strong as the Hulk. I don't think anybody's as physically strong as the Hulk. Although the Thanos gave him a bit. Of course, Thanos had the Power Stone. But whatever. So I'm going to say no. I do not think Captain Marvel is stronger than the Hulk. Could she take Hulk in a fight? Maybe. Because she's got a lot of things other than pure physical strength. But I think Hulk is stronger. XY28 writes, love you guys. The John Campea Show is the best on YouTube. Well, thank you, XY. Appreciate that. By the way, Ashley, you're gorgeous. Yeah, she's a pretty girl, isn't she? Can't wait to see you receiving your Oscar in 2025. Of course, you know, Ashley, she isn't primarily, you know, an online YouTube host. She is an actress and a model, and she does a lot of acting and modeling. She stays very, very busy, which is why I keep telling you guys, hey, it's great that we have Ashley. Just don't expect that we're going to have her around for long, because she has already been very busy doing a lot of smaller jobs and things like that, acting and modeling. Some really cool stuff, too, so I don't expect her to be around for long, but it's good that we can have her while we do. Anyway, thanks for the kind words, XY. I really appreciate that, man. Let's see. Vashino Zin writes, already anticipate the Endgame would end on high emotions Yet they play that card twice. Nothing new was shown except they are hiding the nemesis. Well, to say nothing new was shown, I don't know about that. I don't know, but there's some flashback stuff, reiterating the state the world is in. But I mean, look, Tony and Nebula with the crew, that's pretty new. Captain Marvel, pretty new. Again, what might be the best shot is that Hawkeye with his daughter. They were reminding us of the emotional stakes in this movie. Not a lot new. No. That's why I said, Vishino, that I think if this was a trailer to almost any other movie, we would look at it and say, this is a poor trailer. It's a bad trailer. But in this specific circumstance, this trailer made this specific way for this specific movie. It, in a very specific way, works. And even though you're not far off with what you're saying, I mean, they do show some new stuff, but yeah, I thought it was very effective. And I think the response you're seeing from people kind of speaks to that, speaks to the effectiveness that this whole trailer's had. He goes on and says, hope they won't repeat Iron Man 3 or is Mandarin behind? I don't know what you mean by don't repeat Iron Man 3, as in Iron Man 3 is a letdown. I know a lot of people don't like Iron Man 3, so maybe you think it's just a misdirect on the villain. I don't know, but whatever they do, whatever the Russo brothers have in mind here, Zin, I think it's probably going to be pretty special. Let's find out. Gabriel Reed writes, I had my doubts for months, but I believe 130% that Captain will say Avengers Assemble. Oh, I believe it too. Again, I'm not going to pin all my hopes in this movie. Like, I'm not going to go, and if he doesn't say it, then I'm not going to like this movie. I'm not going to do that. But if you ask me, do I think he's going to say it? Yeah. We've been waiting 10 years to hear Captain America say Avengers Assemble. And then at the end of Age of Ultron, they tease that he's about to do it. Avengers, and then cut. The screen goes out. They teased it. They got to have it say it. Like, again, they don't have to have him do it, but I think they will. I think they will. Yellow Does It writes, no Joker trailer, fam, but does Thor liking Captain Marvel feel like a John Cena letting Roman Reigns win put over? No, I don't think so. There's a new character. We have one character meeting another. Says he like, no, I didn't see any of that. Look, here's the bottom line is this. Captain Marvel already made $153 million opening weekend. She doesn't need to be put over. She's already over. They don't need to put her over. She's already over. There are some people who are going to cry themselves to sleep trying to deny that, but the reality is, and nobody, that doesn't mean you have to like her. It doesn't mean you have to like the movie. That's cool. But the reality is she's already over. Not with everybody, but no character's over with everybody. But she's already over, so no, I didn't feel that. They had to introduce her in the new movie. So I think that was a good way to introduce her rather than showing her wrecking shop out of pace with the rest of the trailer. So I think it was perfectly fine the way they did it. Magic K writes, Shazam opening weekend box office. Say the word. I'm thinking 60 to 70. I think this $45 million number they're throwing around is too low. I think this movie looks great. I'm excited for it. I'm sensing a lot of excitement for it. Maybe not $130 million, but I think that 45 number's too low. I think we're going to see 60 to 70. That's what I'm thinking. I think it's going to be higher than that 45 number they're spitting around. Jess writes, chances Cap will wield a restored Mjolnir in Endgame. I doubt it. I'll be upset if not. Well, okay, first of all, Jess, okay, look, let me finish reading your statement. Seems like something they set up in Avengers 2 Age of Ultron. I think he wasn't quite worthy at the time due to lying to Tony about Bucky. That had nothing to do with it. First of all, don't go into any movie, Jess, with a bunch of check boxes that go, unless the filmmakers do this, and this, I won't like it. Like, all you're doing is you're setting yourself up for disappointment. And you're not robbing anybody or anything other than yourself. Leave all that baggage at the door. When you're going into a movie, whether it's a movie you're really excited about or have no excitement in or whatever, take all that and leave it at the door. Don't take a list of check boxes into a movie with you. I mean, it's our natural tendency as film fans, and I did it for a long time. And nothing good ever comes out of that. And Because we're going, this happens, and unless this happens, I'm going to be upset. Well, then you're saying all these things based on not even knowing anything about the movie. You have no idea what directions the movie's going in. You have no idea if that's something that would fit into the movie or not. You're just setting yourself up for disappointment. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't, but you got to get rid of this attitude just for yourself as a film fan. You got to get rid of this attitude of, unless this happens in the movie, I'm going to be mad. Well, then get used to being mad, because their job is not to tailor a movie just for you and me, but is to tailor the best movie they can, and it may or may not include the things you insist be in there. So it wasn't set up in Avengers 2 Age of Ultron. It was a little gag. It was a little gag, and I loved that gag. Captain America, I should say, is my favorite character in the MCU, but honestly, no, I don't. I don't think we're going to see Mjolnir. I don't think... I mean, it's possible. It is possible. But I wouldn't be holding out too much hope to seeing Captain America wielding the weapon. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. But again, just make sure, dude, when you go to see this movie for yourself, not for anybody else, for you, take any expectations, take any of these check boxes and leave them at the door and just go in and enjoy. And maybe you'll like the movie, maybe you won't, but at least then you'll enjoy it or not enjoy it based on its own merits, not based on an arbitrary random set of check boxes that you created for yourself. And I know it's what we all do. I just encourage you as a fellow film fan to leave that at the door when you go in. All right. Kazik284 writes, "Hey John, I didn't like the Endgame trailer, but it grew on me. I need a Carol and Thor action sequence. He could charge her up. Oh, the possibilities. Oh, dude, I would love seeing either Thor and Captain Marvel doing battle together or doing battle against each other. I don't think they're going to do the battle against each other. They've done that in a couple of the other movies with the heroes fighting each other. But I'd be lying to you if I didn't say the idea of that excites me. That would be pretty damn, that would be great. I would like that very much. I would, as Rock said, I would like that very much, please. I would like that very much. I don't think it's what they're going to do, but I got a feeling we're going to get to see them do battle together. I have a feeling we're going to get to see that, Krazik. And I'm already salivating. And you're right. The last few words you wrote there are absolutely 100% right on the nose. Oh, the possibilities. Oh, the possibilities. I'm so excited for this, man. All right. Where are we at here? Rusky9110 writes, "Could there be a big time skip mid-movie for Endgame? Black Widow's hair changes in the trailer." Possible. I mean, that's been a theory, Rusky, that's been kind of thrown around a little bit, that, the movie begins at one point, and then at some point in the movie, we hit another time jump. Like, the movie begins, say, 1 year after the events of Infinity War. And then at some point, maybe near the end of the first act or whatever, or somewhere in the second act, it goes 2 years later. And then we just time skip a bit. It's possible. I'm not betting on that. But you could clearly see it, like little things in the trailers that would say that theory isn't crazy. Not a crazy theory. So let's keep our eyes open for that one. All right. Sasuke Kuchina writes, read in Avengers trailer equals feeling of anger and feeling of anger and feeling of anger equals Hulk, Red Hulk confirmed. Yeah. Wouldn't it be interesting to see a different color Hulk or see Mr. Fix-It? Wouldn't it be cool to see like Mr. Fix-It show up or something like that? There's a lot of different possibilities here, Sasuke. All right. Luke Blackwell writes, John, who do you think will free Ant-Man from the machine he was stuck in at the end of Ant-Man 2? The post-credits scene showed him stuck in a machine. He was stuck in the quantum realm. That's been a question a lot of people have been asking. How does he get out? Now, if he's been in there for a year, maybe he just eventually figured out a way out, because it's not like he was just in there for 5 minutes. Maybe for him, it was like he was in there for 40 years. Maybe he was like in there, to him, it was like he was in there for 100 years. And he eventually figured a way out. My most hated theory that it pains me to say is possible. All right. It hurts me to even say it. Do you remember that stupid ant that was playing the drums in Ant-Man? What if there's a theory out there that, hey, what if Scott was able to figure out a way to communicate with that ant from the quantum realm and command it to go to where he was and do whatever it needs to be done to the machine to shut it down and to bring him out of the quantum realm? I hate that theory, but I gotta say, it's as valid of a theory as any of the other ones I found out, or maybe he just figures out a way himself. But that is one of the big questions, Luke. That's a question a lot of us have been asking ever since we saw him in the trailer. All right. The M Cluster writes, do you think theaters will have an Infinity War / Endgame double feature? Have not heard of any yet. Oh, I'll be surprised if they don't. I'd be totally shocked. Movie theaters love doing things that make extra money. I really do believe that in select theaters, I don't think in every movie theater, but I think in select theaters across the country, we're going to get Infinity War, Endgame double features. Where like if Endgame premieres at 7 p.m. on the Thursday night across the country, that they'll do screenings of like, get a doubleheader. Come and see Infinity War at 3:30 p.m. that day, and then be the first to see it in the country, be the first to see Endgame as we start you a half hour earlier before anybody else at 6:30 p.m., and then the rest of the country sees it at 7. I'll be really, like, even though we haven't heard anything yet, I totally believe they're going to do that. I feel very confident they'll do it. Now, I haven't been told that by anybody, but it seems like printing money to me. And hey, it's a business. Everybody's into printing money if you can. Eddie Chelsea, or just Chelsea, writes, I hope Wasp is in Endgame. It would be such a waste to bench her after how good she was in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Also, no Okoye in the trailer. Wonder where she is. Well, she's in the poster, so we know she's in the movie, and we know she survives. Don't expect a lot of Wasp, though, because Wasp was dusted. Look, it would be such a waste not to have Black Panther in it. It'd be such a waste not to have Doctor Strange in it. It'd be such a waste not to have Vision in it. It'd be such a waste not to have Scarlet Witch in it. It'd be such a waste not to have Falcon in it. Or Bucky. Or all the other people who dusted. Or Spider-Man. What a waste not to have Spider-Man in it. Now, I'm sure all these people will pop up by the end of the film. But these are all great characters. These are all great characters. But Wasp, Janet, got dusted. She's dust. So don't expect to see her in the majority of the movie. I'm sure she'll pop up. I'm 100% sure she'll pop up. Just don't expect to see her in a lot of the movie. And you'll notice that none of the dusted characters, other than when they were dusting in the flashbacks, none of the dusted characters popped up, nor are any of the dusted characters listed in the credits on the poster. Right? So I think we're going to see them. I just don't think we're going to see them at the end, so don't get your hopes up for Wasp. The TT Gibson writes, thoughts on the 6 Alien short films? Again, I mentioned this a little bit earlier. Honestly, I wasn't impressed by what I saw. They look like college, film school projects. Maybe they'll be great. But honestly, I didn't think much of them. Javier Belmer writes, my guess is that all the Avengers during the film will die in favor of the quote-unquote new reality reset. Avengers in the end. So they do die, just not exactly. Hey, look, again, this is the MCU, man. The Marvel Cinematic Fake Deaths Universe. The MC Fake Death U. That's what it is. One letter away from being the MCFU. They're all about the fake deaths. And I wouldn't, you know what, Javier? I wouldn't doubt that. That everybody sacrifices them at the end just to all be brought back. Because, all the dusted characters are coming back. We already know there's a new Spider-Man movie coming. We already know there's a Black Panther 2 coming. We know there's a Doctor Strange 2 coming. Blah, blah, like, they're all coming back. So what's a little 20 more deaths in this movie just to bring them all back between friends, right? So I wouldn't be surprised. Let's just say that, Javier. I won't be surprised if that's what happens. All right. Moses Woodley writes. Woody, I mean. And my throat's starting to go. We've been going an hour and a half here almost. Where are we at here? Hope they show Xandar, Kree, and Scar post-snap. Sakaar, I mean, post-snap. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I said before that I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Kree, maybe a couple of people from Captain America or from Captain Marvel show up. It's like half of Hala was destroyed. That's the Kree homeworld. Half of our planet's been gone. What do we need to do to fix this? And maybe they come and work with them. I don't know. Who knows? But I do think that we're not only get a sense of the devastation on Earth, I think we're going to get a sense of the devastation across the galaxy. Sasuke Kuchiya writes, could we get a Thanos versus Professor Hulk rematch? Possible. There's a lot of possibilities here. I think Hulk, just from what I heard in the Russo brothers Infinity War commentary, it sounds like Hulk's going to have a major angle in this. Now, whether he gets a rematch with Thanos or not, because, I mean, a lot of people know it's going to be Thor that takes on Thanos. No, it's going to be Captain Marvel that takes on Thanos. No, it's going to be Thor and Captain Marvel taking on Thanos. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. It's possible, but I don't know how likely it is at this point. Dan Meyer writes, calling it now. Steve tells Tony that you can't always cut the wire right before he sacrifices himself. But it's possible. Look, you're not the only, like, don't say calling it as if you're the first one doing it, Dan. Everybody's calling the Captain Marvel or Captain America sacrifices himself for everybody. That's what Captain America does. So that's cool. You can say, I'm calling it. Well, everybody's calling that. It's possible. But even if they do, this is the MC Fake Death U. So even if he does, I have no doubt he'll be back at some point. But let's see how it plays out. It's all about the story. All right. Let's see. Yellow Does It writes, Dark Knight Trilogy in IMAX on April 13th. So, big weekend. It is a big weekend. And I can't believe we haven't talked about this on the John Campea Show. But yeah, the Dark Knight Trilogy is doing a short run back in IMAX theaters. At the same weekend, I believe that Game of Thrones is coming back. So that you're right, Yellow Does It. That's a huge weekend. I don't always rush back out to see movies in theaters again if they're less than like 20 or 30 years old. But yeah, I think I'll think you're going to find my ass planted in an IMAX theater, probably the one at AMC City Walk at Universal City Walk there at Universal Studios. I will probably be going to that AMC, plant my ass down in that, and probably watching that whole trilogy. That's a pretty cool thing they're doing. I think you're going to find a lot of people are doing that. All right. Sasuke Kuchiya writes, Banner and Hulk fighting as one instead of only Hulk, like in Infinity War, would be unpredictable. Thanos adjusted to Hulk's fighting style because he's all brawn. I mean, yeah, that's, some people thought, like, what if you get like a new emergence of Hulk, like a Mr. Fix-It or something along those lines? But what if somehow Banner and Hulk learn to work together? Does that help a lot? I don't know, because Banner isn't exactly a martial arts master. Banner's power is here. He's not a combat artist. So would that help? Maybe. But I wouldn't be surprised, Sasuke, if by the end of this movie that you'd be absolutely right, that at some point, whether they're taking on Thanos or not, that Hulk finds a way to be Hulk in cooperation with Banner while they're in the Hulk form. It wouldn't surprise me at all, because Hulk and Banner in Infinity War have opened a dialogue between each other. Like, it's the first time we've ever actually seen them talking to each other. Come on, Hulk. No. What do you mean no? Like, so maybe they make some progress on that. Jody Casals Alvaros writes, why couldn't time travel be achieved by defeating Thanos and using the gauntlet instead of Quantum Realm? Well, they couldn't defeat Thanos before. And by the way, I'm not sure that the Time Stone, I've said this before, Jody, or Jordy, I should say. I'm not so sure the Time Stone just lets you do time travel. It's at least not something that they've shown in the movies. We've seen them manipulate time, creating a time loop, looking into possible future stuff, rewinding an event quickly, but in the classic understanding of time travel, it's not like we saw Doctor Strange go, well, I'm going to pop back to the 1950s and get a good milkshake. And he goes to the 1950s and comes back with a milkshake. Like, we haven't seen him do that. If he could do that just with the Time Stone, that's it. Then why didn't Doctor Strange at some point go, as they're sitting on Titan waiting for Thanos to show up, you know what? Man, if that dude Maw just didn't get the drop on me, that could have gone a lot different. Okay, I'm just going to travel back to the past and change that. So when Maw shows up, he doesn't get me. He doesn't get the drop on me. If he does, okay, I'll just fix it again. You know what I mean? So I don't know that the movies have ever suggested, again, leave the comic books out of it. I don't think the movies have ever suggested that having the Eye of Agamotto or the Time Stone has ever suggested to us that it can just, in the traditional sense of the idea of time travel, just allow you to time travel. That's probably not an option to them. All right. And finally, and we get all wrapped up here with Sasuke Kuchiya, who writes, we could see Hulk fight smart instead of smash. Oh, going back to what you were saying earlier about seeing Hulk and Banner working together. It's a possibility. It would be a major event, I think, in the MCU if you hit that point where Hulk and Banner learned how to work together. If that were the case, it makes Hulk real dangerous. Like, it makes Hulk quite something to try to be dealt with. I mean, he already is, but you add that dimension. Like, you can't lose any of his savagery because Hulk's got to have that savagery. But if you're able to add on top of that a little bit more strategic thinking, a little more analytical thinking while he's doing it, and if Hulk could communicate with Banner the way Banner was able to communicate with Hulk in Banner's form, if Hulk could go, "What we do now?" and Banner goes, "Use that ledge and move it 85 degrees," and blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, it would open up a lot of possibilities, let's just say that. All right, guys, that will do it for this installment of this very active, let's call it, companion video. Of course, today was the day that the Avengers Infinity War, or Endgame, I keep saying Infinity War, Endgame trailer dropped, and a lot of us have been wanting to talk about it. Thank you so much for sending in all the questions. We're just like a little over a month away, guys. Just a little over a month away. I'm losing my voice. I'm so excited about it. Anyway, thanks for sending in all the questions, guys. Don't forget to join us again for the John Campea Show tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Come on back. I'm sure we're going to have some more Endgame stuff to talk about. That'll do it for me for now, guys. Thanks a lot for joining me. My name's John Campea, and until the next video, bye-bye.